Hello dear participants, I welcome you all in this lecture number 5, Introduction to MS Excel. So this lecture will be dealing with these questions. Question number 1, first we'll see that what is the structure of worksheet. Worksheets are actually also known as a spreadsheet. So they both are actually the same thing. So the first thing that we'll see is the structure of worksheet. Then we'll see that where does that cell is located in MS Excel and what is the meaning of that cell. Then we'll see that how can and what can we enter in these cells. Then we'll go to the formatting of the cell. Then we'll go to the formulas, and in that first we'll try to understand the meaning of formulas and then the functional part of these formulas in MS Excel. Then we'll go and we'll see that where can we get these formulas in MS Excel. And finally we'll see that if someone is not having a data analysis tool, which is a very important tool in MS Excel, and if it is not there with someone, then how to get this data analysis tool in MS Excel. So these are the questions which we'll try to answer here in this lecture. So the objective of this lecture is to make you all familiar with cells format and formulas. Fine. So let me start with the basic thing first. What is MS Excel? MS Excel is a primary data analysis application. This is a very basic application available everywhere on any computer or on any laptop. Fine. So it is a very primary data analysis application. So MS Excel make use of the spreadsheets or worksheets. So this is the part where actually we will be working in. MS Excel help us to store the data and present results of the data analysis. So here are the two important functions been highlighted. First function of the MS Excel is that it helps us to store the data, and the second function of the MS Excel is that it helps us to present results of our data analysis. Fine. Now let me take you to the meaning of worksheet. What is worksheet? A worksheet is a tabular arrangement of data using columns and rows. So here are the columns and here are the rows and here is the tabular arrangement, and it will be known as a worksheet. Data for each variable are placed in a separate column. What does that mean? It means that each column represents the separate variable. Fine. And on the opposite side, rows are associated with the respondent. So each row will represent the different respondent. Fine. Intersection of rows and columns form cell. So when each column intersects each row, that part is known as a cell. So all this part is known as cell, and these are the cells where we enter our information or we enter our data. So cells are the boxes into which we can make entries. Fine. What type of entries that we can make, that we'll see little later. So if I open my MS Excel file, it looks like this. This is the first image as we open the spreadsheet. Fine. And in this, here they all are the columns, vertical, all these lines, right? And they are denoted by A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. And they are the rows, and they are denoted by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So here is the cell. Wherever the column intersects row, that part is known as a cell. And what is the location of this cell? If I click using my mouse here, so the location of this cell is B4. What does that mean? B4 means the B column, 4th row. So that is the way that we read these cells. Fine. Now let me go further. So this is a simple structure of spreadsheet. Here is the title bar on the top, then here is the menu bar. In the menu bar there are different menus like home, insert, and they are having their own sub menus and functions, but we will be more interested in this formula menu and data menu. Fine. How they works, that we'll see little later. Then here is a current cell pointer, here is a formula bar, and on the downside here are different worksheets. each workbook can contain different worksheets. So here is sheet 1, here is sheet 2, sheet 3. If you want to add more worksheets, you just simply have to click this part and you can add more and more worksheets. Fine. Here is a horizontal scroll bar, here is a vertical scroll bar. So this is a simple structure of MS Excel. Now what type of entries that we can make into these cells? So we can make three type of the entries. We can enter the information using different words. We can enter information using different numbers, or we can also enter different formulas. Fine. But as all you know that if we are having data of different words, or if we are entering data using different words, then there are some limitations to apply statistics. So it is always better that your data should be in the numbers. If it is there in the numbers, then we can apply more and more statistics, because numbers are basic raw material for spreadsheets. Fine. So here is again we are on the worksheet. So here is the cell, and we can simply we'll have to click here and we'll have to type the word. Say that I have entered here variable name. Just I want to enlist here the names of my respondent. So here in the formula bar, whatever I type here in the cell, it appears here also. Fine. So here I can edit the things. Again, if I add one more variable age, again here the location been changed. D4 means D column fourth line. Correct. Fourth row that I would say. Now what is cell formatting? What is cell formatting? Cell formatting means if we are choosing a particular variable, and if we are formatting something in these cells, then that we call it cell formatting. Suppose in this case, if I identify one variable that is income, and I have mentioned here the numbers 30,000, 42,000, 28,000, so on and so forth. Now if I just want to give symbol of rupee here in this column, because this is income and income is associated with currency, then how can I do that? To do that, simply I'll have to select this part, then I'll have to right click using my mouse. As I right click, different menus appears. Now here I'll have to simply click on format cell. If I click here on the format cell, a new pop-up window appears, and here I find there are different categories. Now it is up to me that what type of variable that I have chosen, what type of variable that I am having, and what type of category that I should select for that particular variable. Suppose in our case we have chosen this variable income, then is it better to remain it same in the general category, or can I use this currency category, because we are using here income? Suppose if I click here on the currency, and if I go further, again a new option appears here, the symbol, and if I click here on this thing arrow, there are different currencies enlisted here. Then I will choose appropriate one. In our case, rupee for India is appropriate for me, so I'll click here. As I click here, I'll go here on the downside and I'll click on OK. You can see that all the income data now it appears with the symbol rupee. Fine. The same thing we'll be doing using live this MS Excel spreadsheet. So let me take you all to the spreadsheet. Now in this spreadsheet, if I select this data, income data, and if I right click here, then I'll go here on the format cell, and simply here if I click on the currency, and if I go here and if I select the rupee, and the rupee here, it is here on the top too. So simply I'll click on OK. You can see that it appears in this with the symbols. So this is the way that we format the cells. This is the way that we format the cells. Now let me take you back to our presentation, and in this presentation we are going further. So the story is same with the date. Suppose if you are having a variable which is associated with the date, then there are different formats or the options are available here in the date. Or if you are dealing, your particular variable is dealing with the time, then you are again having different formats. Then if your variable is having some fractional numbers, then you can use this option also. So there are different options available in the cell formatting. Now we'll come to the next part, and that is what are formulas and how to enter the formulas. See, the formulas are instructions that perform some type of calculation task. Okay, what does that mean? Let me take one example. Suppose from this data, if I want to compute per head income. Now, how will I compute per head income? What does that mean? Per head income for a particular household. Now, this is the data of Sita, Ram, Azhar, John, and Rubina. There are 5 persons here. And if I look at the income, who is the richest person? So far this data is concerned. Here, this 42,000 rupees belongs to Ram. So that Ram, that we get the impression that Ram is the richest person. Who is the poorest? So far this data is concerned. So here rupees 10,000 rupees, they belongs to Rubina. So Rubina means the impression is that Rubina is the poorest one. Now if I compute per head income, I have generated one new variable from these two variables, correct? How I am going to generate this? To compute per head income using simple mathematics, simply I'll have to do what? Division. Income divided by family members. So if I do this, I'll get per head income. Now how to do this? To do this, simply I'll have to click here in this cell, and in this cell I'll have to first put this equal to sign. Then I'll have to select the income cell. So if I click here on this cell is E5. E5 means E column, fifth row. It belongs to the first income of Sita, divided by this cell, and the location of this cell is F5. If I do that, I'll get the per head income. Once I get the per head income here, there is really no need to write formula every time. There is really no need. Once you get the per head income for this first respondent, simply you will have to go to this corner and drag it till end. Automatically you will get all the results here. How we get all this thing? Let me do it practically. Now simply here I just write equal to sign, and then I clicked here on this cell, income cell, and then divided by sign that I have provided, and then I simply clicked here on the this cell, and then I'll press enter button. As I press enter button, here is the result, and result tells me that rupees 7,500 is the per head income for the family of Sita. Fine. Now simply again I'll go here, I'll click here, and I'll drag it here till the end, and here is the result for per head income for each and every of the respondent. Now here if I consider per head income, who is the richest one? In these numbers, this stands highest, and which one is the lowest? 7,000. Whereas in the income, it was opposite. Initially, we thought that Ram is the richest person and the Rubina is the poorest. But when I computed per head income, when I computed the responsibilities, fine, then I came to know that in actual Rubina is having less family members, so that her per head income is good. Her per head income is better than any other person. Fine. Now the same thing we'll do here using actual worksheet. So let me take you all to the MS Excel. Now here, how I'm going to compute this? Simply I'll now press equal to sign using my keyboard. Then simply I'll go to the first income. I'll click here. As I click here, the cell location appears here under the per head income. Then I'll have to put the divide sign here. So division sign is here. Then I'll have to simply press here in the first cell of the family members. Now E5 divided by F5, simply I will press the enter, and here is the per head income for Sita. Now simply I will click on the first result. I will go to this corner and I will just press my left key, cursor key, and I will drag it to the end. As I drag it to the end, I'll get the results for each and every respondent. There is really no need to go to each and every respondent separately and to write the formula. So that is the way that formula works in the MS Excel. I'm not going to explain you each and every formula. This is just an example. I just wanted to show you that how actually the formulas that we work with in using MS Excel. Fine. So where to get other formulas? So it was simply one of the generated formula, but there are different formulas, statistical, mathematical, and many other formulas. Where can we get these formulas? And for that, simply you will have to go to this menu bar and you will have to click here on the formulas. As you click on the formulas, there are different options like insert function and many more. If I click here on the insert function, a new pop-up window appears, and here are many options. For example, here in the first part, search for a function. If you type a known terminology, if you are familiar with the statistics and if you know some terminologies, you can type it here. Suppose if I write, if I type here arithmetic mean, and if I click here on go, the concepts or the formulas which are actually associated or which are actually relevant to the arithmetic mean will be enlisted here. Fine. And then I'll have to choose appropriate one for my use. This is one way. Or you simply go to select a category thing and you will you just simply click here on this arrow. You will find the different major options like financial, data and time, statistical, mathematics, and many more. I am interested in statistical, so that if I click here on the statistical thing, all the formulas of the statistics, they appears here, they are enlisted here. And then I'll have to simply scroll this thing and I'll have to identify which formula actually I am interested in, and then I'll have to select that thing, and then I'll go to further part of further kind of proceedings. Fine. So this is the way that we go with the formula in this insert function. Fine. On the right hand side, recently used formulas are mentioned here. Now if I go to more functions, and if I click on the statistical part, then again the same part which we have seen in earlier things, the same formulas are enlisted here in detail. Fine. So you can choose anyone. As I have chosen average, and again a new pop-up window appears, and then we can proceed with these things. How to go further, how to get the result, that thing we'll see in the separate lectures when we'll be dealing with the separate or different statistical techniques. Fine. In this lecture, I just wanted to highlight you that where where to find the formulas in MS Excel. Fine. What are the other ways to computation in MS Excel? See, the other way, either you can go to formulas, or in other way you simply go to data. You just simply click on the data, and here at the end of this menu, sub menus, here is the data analysis. I'll have to simply click here on the data analysis. Most of the statistical techniques are enlisted here. You choose the respective one in which you are interested in, and you can go further. If I click here descriptive statistics and OK, I can go further. Again, this part will explain you in the different lecture. Fine. Here in this lecture, I just wanted to highlight you that there are different ways that we can go to the formulas and we can use different formulas. Fine. Now, there are chances that if someone is having MS Excel with him, but that data analysis tool is not there, it is not visible, then how to make it visible? Let me explain you the procedure. Suppose this is the case that if I click here on the data analysis is not there, then what should I do? Simply I'll go here on the start menu. I'll click here. As I click here on the downside, here is a Excel option. Simply I'll have to click on the Excel options. As I click on the Excel option, a new pop-up window appears, and in this window again I'll have to find out add-ins. Then simply click on the add-ins. If I click on add-ins, on the downside there is one thing, that is manage menu. It appears here. Now simply you will have to click here on this arrow. You will have to click here on this arrow. When you will click on this arrow, a new pop-up window appears, and here is the list of add-ins available. You will have to just select analysis toolpath. If you select this, it gets selected. Simply click on OK. As you press OK, your data analysis will appear here in the data menu. So data analysis is now visible. Fine. So this is the way that we add data analysis. Again, if I click on the data analysis, the statistical methods are enlisted here. I'll choose the one in which I'm interested in. So how we save the file? When we save worksheet, they are called workbook. Single workbook is a collection of different worksheets. Yes, there are different worksheets in the workbook, in a single workbook, and we save Excel file using .xls. So here dot is missing here. So we save Excel files using .xls or .xls X file format. Fine. So this is the way that MS Excel goes. And I hope these are the questions which we have, which we mentioned at the beginning of this lecture, and I hope that this lecture has answered all these questions, that what is worksheet, what is the structure of worksheet, what is cell and how to enter information in the cell, and how to format cells, what are the formulas and where to get the formulas, and how to get data analysis tool if you are not having. So I hope this lecture has answered all these questions. So far this lecture is concerned, we'll stop here and see you soon in the next lecture. Thank you for all your support and kind listening. Thank you.